We've been too comfortable inside the church and maybe not putting forth the effort and the energy that it takes to connect with people that are just right outside the doors of the church. People over property is about stewardship. It's a call to help us to think about the resources that we have, our building, our property, our people, our money, everything, and to just examine it and say, are we being good stewards of the things that God has blessed us with? Property was built to support the ministries and things that were happening. We live in different times. I think it's important to consider our neighborhood and where we are located and why are we here, and does it matter that we are in the Lake Morton neighborhood? I think God has a purpose and a place for us to re-examine how we use our building and our space, and how can we invite others in, and how can we partner with them. Folks that need space or a place or need volunteers. I'm just excited for what's next. Is the church going to close today or this week or next year? No. Others have closed within the time since I've been here, and if we're here next year, what kind of church do we want to be? Will the church be vital and growing and passionate and in a position to be able to bless other people and not be a church that's fearful and anxious? Our classrooms off of the courtyard, they only get used one day a week, and is that good stewardship? I think about the Florida Philharmonia and how we shared space with them, and that was an amazing opportunity that we had to kind of be an incubator for that wonderful orchestra that shares music and that so many people love. If you think of what we've just experienced with the pandemic and coming out of that, we've been forced to rethink all of our resources, our spaces. Virtual life is this. It's recording is how we, during the pandemic, how we couldn't come to our church buildings. So many of us were either recording worship or doing worship live on Facebook, or we were doing Zoom worship. And that's how we connected virtually. But it also gave us a window into folks who are digital natives. For them, it's second nature to be connecting with folks on camera. And I have a tendency to kind of discount something that is not in person or face-to-face connections, but for some that is their norm, and it is much more real. Don't discount it and forget folks that are of that generation. I've been challenged and to make connections with folks in the community, and I'm enjoying learning about resources or the lack of resources, thinking about the possibilities. Help a neighbor, and a neighbor can be a community agency or literally, be in working with a neighbor. I would love to hear from you and to know what you're wondering, and where does your heart rate, increase when you think about, oh, that's exciting to think about doing. Don't freak out, because the plan is not to sell the building and to move to another location. The plan is not to tear down the church and build a new one. It's working together and God using everything like God always does. I don't know what you're thinking. I would love to know what you're thinking. I would love to know what you're worried about, what your concerns are, and what you're excited about.